Good evening, everyone. The time is now 5:28. All mics are hot, and we are broadcasting on all platforms.
I haven't read it yet.
Keyboard down. And my web page expired. I didn't touch a thing. I didn't even have time to screw it up yet.
Sure,
I
Jeff.
assume I just go over there and click on e-vote, but I don't.
Yeah, probably. We'll just close out of this. Get you back in
Thank
there.
you.
Yeah, we're set for Thursday. Afternoon, Thursday at 3:30.
Okay, Zoom.
He said he'd send out a link, so hopefully Zoom or WebEx or Teams or one of them.
Gotta make sure I got all of them downloaded.
You're all dressed up. There you go. How are you? Good to see you too.
What'd you do with my gavel, dude? I know you messed with me. Give me the gavel.
See, he kept calling.
Okay,
Did you see that?
Ralph, we're ready. Having the appointed time at 5:30 arrived, I'd like to call the Tuesday, January 13th, 2026 Committee of the Whole to order. Would you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Mr. Clerk, would you please take the roll?
Alderman Cox.
Here.
Alderman Gregory.
Here.
Alderman Williams.
Here.
Alderman Rockford.
Here.
Alderwoman Purchase.
Here.
Alderwoman Nitriano.
Here.
Alderman Carlson.
Here.
Alderwoman Conley.
Present.
Alderman Donlin.
Here.
Alderman Hanauer.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
All right, thank you. I would accept the a motion for the approval of December 30th, 2025 committee meeting. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Madam Treasurer, would you please present your treasurer's report?
Thank you, Chair. The Treasurer's report for the corporate fund for the month of December. Beginning balance is $62,159,590. Total receipts, $14,418,469. We had total disbursements in the month of December totaling $10,900,235, which left the corporate fund ending balance in the month of December at $65,677,824. The ending general fund balance included $5,738,527, which is the December ending ARPA balance. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer. Take a, do we need a
Motion to
vote?
approve.
Second.
Got a motion, and a second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, I don't believe there's any presentations tonight. So next we have ordinances tabled or remaining in committee. That's 2025-497, 2025-499. Is there any action on any of these?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to move out, 2025-499 for committee consideration.
Move to,
2020
out to, you want to go ahead and, well,
Bring it out for committee, yeah, that's fine. So we can pass it next week.
we need a vote on that, or is that?
Need a second and then a vote.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion, and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, Mr. Clerk, will you please read the ordinances that come before the committee?
You want it 499 now?
Yeah, why don't we do 499?
Ordinance 2025-499 is an ordinance authorizing acceptance of a proposal under RFP CS 19-29 and execution of an agreement with Springfield Urban League, Marcus Johnson, for the purchase of city-owned property consisting of 8 parcels in the amount of $4,000 for the Office of Budget Management.
Motion for consent.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, Mr. Clerk, CWLP. CWLP 2026-001 is an ordinance authorizing a one-year contract extension and additional funding in the amount of $460,000 under contract number UW 24-23, powdered activated carbon with ARQ Purifications LLC, I'm sorry, FKA Carb Pure Technologies LLC, for the total amount not to exceed $1,380,000 for the Office of Public Utilities.
Move to consent.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for consent. Any discussion?
I have a question.
Alderwoman Notriano.
Chair, quick question for Doug, I'm guessing. So it's on this one, and there are a couple coming up that are contract extensions. And so I know last year I asked about this, and it was a matter of this being more cost-effective to do an extension. So I just would like, you to expand on that a little bit. Why we're extending as opposed to like competitively bidding or asking for proposals.
Yeah, so what they do is they call around to other cities and see what they've done for their recent procurement contracts. So when they see that other communities that have done it and their price went up, they log that in and say, okay, well, now we got to be careful on this particular commodity, or we don't want to do the same thing. So if we can lock it in at the lower price than what they're getting, then that they feel that that's what we need to do. Is that accurate, Todd? Is there anything else you want to add to that?
No, that's basically it. We go out and we do, for those that are willing to extend, we do a market comparison to see what comparable cities are purchasing the product for, whether those prices are going up or going down. And if they're going up, and they will extend the contract, and we've been provided reasonable service or good service, we'll ask them to extend it for 1 year. So.
Gotcha. Thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, motion is for consent. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
2026-002 is authorizing an additional one-year contract extension and additional funding in the amount of $338,000 under proposal UW 25-42, liquid chlorine with JCI Jones Chemicals, Inc., for the total amount not to exceed $676,000 for the Office of Public Utilities.
Move consent.
Got a motion?
Second.
And a second for consent. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
2026-003 is an ordinance authorizing an additional one-year contract extension and additional funding in the amount of $166,500 under contract number UW 22-11-67, carbon dioxide with Lindy, Inc., for the total amount not to exceed $832,500 for the Office of Public Utilities.
For consent. Second.
Got a motion, second for consent. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
2026-004, authorizing an additional one-year contract extension for funding in the amount of $453,000 under contract number UW 24-11-71, ferric sulfur with Premier Water Solutions, Inc., for a total amount not to exceed $1,359,000 for the Office of Public Utilities.
Move to consent.
Second.
Got a motion, second for consent. Any discussion?
Yes. Mr. Chair, if the department can come up, please. I just really, so we're doing all these one-year extensions. Is there any rhyme or reason why we're extending all of them and they're all asking for one-year extensions? Nothing like, did an event or something take place that affected all this or something, or?
Well, I mean, there's a combination of them here. This particular year, we bid all these chemicals out once a year, try to coincide with the fiscal year, so they all come out at once. And so, as I told Alderwoman Notriano, our first effort is to go do a market analysis, see if prices are rising, staying the same, or decreasing. If they're staying the same or decreasing, generally we bid the product out. If they're rising and the chemical vendor is willing to extend the contract and they've provided us good, reasonable service, we'll ask them to extend for a year. And so in this particular case, it looks like we're talking about extending 1, 2, 3 contracts, and then we bid 2 of these out, right? Because either they wouldn't extend the contract for another year, or prices in that particular chemical market were increasing.
They have the option of wanting to extend or not. But for us, extending gives us some time to kind of watch it and look at it and decide if it's going to be cheaper.
Yes, right. So we go out to comparable utilities and look at what they're paying for it. You know, they're on off cycle from us, and see if their prices are going up. And it's usually about a 50-50 proposition, right? Most of the time, prices are increasing, and they don't want to extend the contract because they want to bid a higher rate. And that's about the case in about half of these this year.
Okay. I was just wondering why some, we're bidding out, others,
And then the other caveat is obviously they got to provide us decent service if we were going to do that, so.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
2026-005 is an ordinance accepting bids and authorizing contract UW 26-10-42 Canatonic Polymer for a one-year term with Carreras LLC in the amount not to exceed $202,800 for the Office of Public Utilities.
Move to consent, please.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for consent. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
2026-006 is an ordinance accepting bids and authorizing contract UW 26-10-483 with fluorosilicic acid for one-year term with Univera Solutions USA, Inc., in the amount not to exceed $59,000 for the Office of Public Utilities.
Move for consent.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for consent. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
2026-007 is an ordinance accepting bids and authorizing contract UE 26-11-44 total vegetation control for a 3-year period with Apatera Solutions, Inc., in the amount not to exceed $85,680 for the Office of Public Utilities.
Move to consent.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for consent. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
2026-008 is an ordinance authorizing purchase of 2 Ford Ranger trucks from Morrow Brothers from the state contract in an amount not to exceed $85,134 for the Office of Public Utilities.
Move to consent. Second.
Got a motion and a second for consent. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
2026-009, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of a complete rotary assembly for units number 4 ID fans and from Howden, USA, in the amount not to exceed $653,518 for the Office of Public Utilities.
Move to consent.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for consent. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Public Works, 2026-1010, ordinance accepting RFP PW 2620 with Rayon Brothers, Inc., DBA Sangamo Construction to furnish supplemental snow removal services in the amount not to exceed $100,000 for the Office of Public Works.
Move to consent.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for consent. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
2026-011, an ordinance accepting proposal and authorizing execution of contract NB 26-332C with PH Broughton and Sons, Inc., to furnish supplemental snow removal services in the amount not to exceed $100,000 for the Office of Public Works.
Move for consent. Second.
Got a motion and a second for consent. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
2026-012 is a resolution for municipality under the Illinois Highway Code pertaining to spending motor fuel tax funds for the 11th Street intersection improvements at East Hazeldale Road and Lincolnshire Drive project, MFT section number 25-00501-00SP for the Office of Public Works.
Motion for consent?
Second.
Got a motion and a second for consent. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
2026-013 is an ordinance authorizing execution of agreement with the State of Illinois Department of Transportation and the City of Springfield for the 19th Street Corridor feasibility study, MFT section 25-00502-00-ES for the Office of Public Works.
Motion for debate.
Second.
A motion and a second for debate. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion.
I'm gonna go back to the old school.
I'm sorry.
with you. It's all right.
Alderman Gregory, I'm sorry I didn't see it.
Mr. My friend from Hanson, can you come speak to this ordinance?
Are you, Alderman, the next ordinance is
Well,
is
13
for
and
the
14, they
Hanson, is
both
this?
deal with the 19th Street corridor. One's to pay it, and one is just the,
The next one's for Hanson.
okay. Well,
I mean,
it pertains,
all right.
it's all in the same category. Both of them are concerned with the 19th Street tracks. First, I want to thank everybody. Thank Hanson, thank Public Works, my friend Alderman Williams, Senator Turner, and our mayor for hearing the needs of this important project, right? So, in our meeting, if you can run us down the time frame of the feasibility study. I understand it's supposed to start in May, is that correct?
Yes, I'll say my name first. I think I'm supposed to.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Mike Mendenhall, I see it came.
With Hanson.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It came to me.
The overall time frame is 6 months after the agreement is executed. That's execution by the city and the state of Illinois.
Okay. So is May-ish a fair assessment?
Provided probably a little after that, by the time it gets executed, it'll be executed by the city first, then the state.
Okay.
So I'll say summertime ballpark.
Okay. And then after that, it takes, 3 months? Director Fuchs, maybe I should be asking you.
Sorry.
The timeframe after we do the feasibility study to the completion of the feasibility study, what's the estimates on that?
90 days would be a good estimate right now.
Okay. And then at that point, we're going to do a community meeting before or after this feasibility,
There'll be a public meeting and also stakeholder outreach during the feasibility study.
Okay, all right. And Dave, does the city have any money in the whole total railroad project, 3rd, 11th?
The money that is being allotted for this is part of the $10 million grant that we got.
Correct.
The rest of the money would be used on overruns for the hub and for usable segments 6A and B.
Yes, sir. Correct. But do we have any of our funds, city funds, in on any part of those two projects that have gone? Do we know?
Our funds have been included.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, for the entire rail project, there is city funds that have been a part of that.
Do you know how much? Probably not. About
Roughly,
3-4
I'm gonna
million?
say roughly $6 million out of a $550 million project.
I appreciate you. Thank you. I put this one on debate as well as for the other one on debate. A project that has been, worked on for about 15 years or so, and now we're back at this point to do another study. There's some doubt in our community. So we just want to look at everything and make sure that we're going to finish out and do what we're saying we're going to do on the city side, and make sure that this is not going to be just another feasibility study that's going to sit in the closet somewhere for another 12 years. So that's the only reason they're on debate. We do plan on voting on these next week, so no worries. All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Hold on, guys, I got a question. So a part of that feasibility study, I'm assuming, we'll know approximate costs of the project and everything, so that, because I'm sure that, well, I know that prices have gone up since we even started the 10th Street corridor, and that's affected that as well. But, so we'll be getting an updated cost analysis as well?
Yes, as part of the overall study for 19th Street, there will be an updated cost analysis for
Whether we
the,
remove it or whether we
That's
keep the
correct.
tracks or whatever. So,
yes,
okay,
for all
that's,
the different options that we would look at.
that's
Yes.
good to know. And will it also look at where we're, like possible grants or things like that, or is that down the road?
Yes, as part of the overall, this feasibility study, we're going to look at different options of funding that could be utilized.
Okay.
That'll be very high level.
All right.
We've got a relatively decent idea because of all of our past experience with that. But that is something that we'd look at and be able to provide some recommendations in the report.
Okay, thank you.
I can assure you, Chair, we are, anybody we come across in any elected office that we talk to, we're talking to them about funding
we're
on the
gonna need
19th
to,
Street
yeah.
tracks. I can guarantee you that. I appreciate you. Thank you, Ms. Mendenhall.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Is there anybody else? All right, motions for debate. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
2026-114 is an ordinance authorizing execution of a professional services agreement with Hanson Professional Services, Inc. to begin preliminary engineering services on the rail corridor in the amount not to exceed $500,000 for the Office of Public Works.
Motion for debate.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for debate. Mayor Busher, I believe you wanted to speak on this.
Thank you, Chair Hanauer. I just wanted to give the entire council a little bit of information about this since you're going to be voting on it. Alderman Gregory recently, just in the last conversation, referenced a meeting that was held at Hanson. And due to the Open Meetings Act, you can't all be invited to that. So Alderman Williams was there, Alderman Gregory, and myself, which would be the cap. So therefore, I would like to give you all just a little bit of information on this ordinance for the study that's going to be done. In 2010, there were approximately 4 trains a day on this 19th Street track. In 2020, a study was completed, and at that time, the study said in 2030, there would be up to 9 trains a day on that track. And as you know, we're in starting 2026 now, and there are actually 2 trains a day on the track, not anywhere near the 9 that was estimated. In 2027, the Kincaid Power Plant is scheduled to be closed. If that continues on its time frame through state legislation, then there would be 1 train a day on this track on 19th Street, so very different than the old study. So therefore, the new study is really needed to see what cost benefit is there to the community on what we should do with these tracks. Personally, I would love to see them vacated. I think it's the safest thing in the world when you don't have train tracks, and it would be great for the community, and we could link the link on 10th Street with 19th Street, which I would love to see that happen. But the study will tell us all that. And the old study recommended 2 overpasses, which right now would be about $50 million. So this new study is really a good idea. It's fiscally responsible of you, and I just wanted to make sure you all had the same information. So thank you, Chair.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Any other discussion? All in favor for debate?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
2026-015, an ordinance authorizing execution of a preliminary engineering services agreement with Bacon Farmer and Workman for the preliminary design and engineering services PE1 and PE2 for the 11th Street intersections improvement at East Hazeldale Road and Lincolnshire Drive project, MFT 25-00501-00SP, in the amount not to exceed $586,053 for the Office of Public Works.
Motion for consent.
Got a motion and a second for consent. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
General City Business, 2026-016, an ordinance to increase the number of Class D liquor licenses by 1 for Back Nine Boys LLC DBA X Golf Springfield, located at 3201 South Veterans Parkway.
Move for consent.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for consent. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
2026-017, an ordinance authorizing the extension of an intergovernmental agreement with Sangamon County Department of Public Health for animal control services within the city and authorizing a supplemental appropriation and payment for FY 2026 in the amount of $538,447.05 for the Office of Budget and Management.
Move to debate.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for debate. Any discussion?
Yes.
Alderman Williams.
Is there, the last I heard, and Mayor, you are the corporate counsel, I guess, we have no contract with them, correct, as of tonight?
That's correct. Our written contract has expired.
So why are we using the word extension?
Well, because this would pay, the Sangamon County has still been providing the services under the prior contract. So what this authorizes is payment for up to today's date, and then for them to continue those services through the end of February.
So is there going to be a, I don't know, a hearing or a presentation on what we're doing with this? Because we're kind of like we were for years now with just letting them get back pay, you know, for staying the same and never coming up with this new contract. How many times have we extended this?
That I can't answer, but we've been extending it since at least 2020.
Yes, and that's a problem. That's not taking care of the people or taking care of business with all these extensions. We either go in there and negotiate and we come out, they're going to do it or they're not going to do it. But just because they're the Sangamon County, we can't continue to extend this thing and let them get this back because they're doing the current services, which I, in my ward, don't feel or see or know is as if we don't have animal control in Springfield, Illinois, because of this exact situation. So not only do they and the people who's negotiating, but this council, we need to do our job. We need to provide animal control for the city of Springfield and quit pushing it back through these extensions over and over and over that all these years have passed. So that's why I'm asking for debate. That's why I'm asking for a presentation before we vote on anything else, so we get some kind of direction what's going on. All we hear is they want more money, or they you know, it's going back and forth, but they don't want to come and justify why. They don't want to come and talk to us and engage. I realize we can't negotiate in public, but we surely can't keep operating like this. So I appreciate this going on debate. I hope that we get somebody here next week before we vote so that we get a better understanding of where we're headed with this contract and with this service that they supposedly provide to Springfield. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Ramona Metzger.
I'd like to say that we did put it out for RFP for animal control services, and we received no bids. And we also were able to get this reduced to actual costs by $287,000.
So they were asking for how much?
Originally $826,000.
So we're in a situation where we just accept because, are you painting a picture that there's nobody else that can do animal control?
We did put it out for bid.
And did the public know and did people know? And because I sure would have pushed for, you know, people to know about it, and I didn't even realize that it went out for bid. I was last told we was in negotiations. So I guess while you're negotiating, you put something out for bid is what you're telling me?
Yes, we did.
And that's proper? I've never heard it. Okay. Well, are they going to be here next week too?
We'll ask them to be here, yes.
I think they should be here. They're wanting something from us. They want us to sign off on giving them some money. And we need to see, what do we get for that money? I mean, did they get more vans? Is there more services? Or is everything just the same? Because the same's not working. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Alderman Cox.
You just skipped me.
You skipped Ms. Purchase.
Oh, I'm sorry. Alderwoman Purchase.
Thank you, Chair. Corporation Counsel, I wasn't going to ask for a presentation, but I was going to request to ask, could we have some type of report of what have they done over the last year? How many employees do they have? Because we do find that at least 2 in my ward, in Ward 5, that there is a shortage when they call for them to come out. Sometimes it takes 45 minutes to an hour. So that tells me that they may have some staffing issues and just good job on reducing it over $200,000, but was that to help increase their manpower? What was that additional cost that they were asking for?
So we can provide you with the breakdown of cost that goes into that number.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
All right. Alderman Cox.
Thank you, Chair. So it sounds to me, if I'm understanding this right, we're paying them for services already rendered and then an additional about 45 days to the end of February. So we're kind of stuck with that, like it, love it, hate it, I don't care. We're kind of stuck with this one way or another. We're going to end up in a lawsuit probably. My question is, what are we doing on March 1st? I haven't heard anything about our next plan. And so I guess maybe Mr. Fleischle, this might be a question for you to look into over the next week, hopefully before Tuesday morning. Where are we going next? Because on March 1st, does that mean the cats and dogs are just running free? Ward 1 gets these problems too. We've got stray cats everywhere. This is a citywide issue that just needs to be discussed. So thank you, Chair, I appreciate it.
Alderwoman Conley.
Thank you, Chair. I'm happy, I'm hopeful that we have someone from the county here next week. I think Alderman, if we need to, we can certainly hold it in committee, because it's short notice maybe for them to get here. But I will point out one thing that I've had people reach out to me is that a big change that's occurred. I mean, if you follow them on Facebook, if you see what's going on at the shelter, they're full all the time. And a lot of the reason behind that is that they are not putting animals to sleep really anymore. So, I think I agree this is a big contract, this is a big service. I also have issues in my ward. I've had, again, especially with feral cats. But I do want to say that I've heard from people who are pleased to hear that our shelter is not putting animals to sleep, because our current contract really only pays for, I think 10 days holding an animal. And
we still only pay that amount. The county takes on that additional cost. Anything beyond our contract, they pay that themselves. The city does not.
So I do want to point out, and I think I've shared this often enough, if people are looking for pets, they need to be going to the shelter. There are fabulous, fabulous animals there waiting to join your family, make you happy. And I appreciate that the county is absorbing some of that cost, and thank you for clarifying. We're only paying for what our current contract specifies. But you're right. We do need to really have a sit down and have a good examination of this service and what our expectations are, because I don't hear as much about dogs in my ward, but definitely the feral cats and the issues they present, and wait times on having someone come out. So we probably need a more informed and holistic picture and understanding of what's going on out there. I appreciate that. Thank you, Chair.
Alderman Williams.
Thank you, Chair. Well, I always go through this with you guys. So, okay, let's agree. All of us are going to agree that they're good babysitters, that they can run a shelter. This is not the issue on the shelter and all that. We always turn it to that. But there's an enforcement piece to this, where their dogs have been killed by other dogs. Their cats have been killed by other cats. And then they'll call and say, Alderman, why is that animal back home? Now, it may lead to some of this overcrowdedness and some of this other stuff, but that's the kind of stuff we can't be scared to talk about and demand whoever's giving us the service to start fixing, or maybe splitting this thing. You guys run a shelter, but this group over here needs to have a contract that runs the enforcement. I got people that say, well, the police say call animal control. Animal control say call the police. Again, it does not help our citizens not to have clear policy about who's supposed to be doing what when it comes to animal, and I'm not at all talking about the shelter. I'm just really talking about the enforcement fees. When they call me and say, Alderman, I called them at 9 o'clock this morning. It's 3 o'clock. They still ain't came yet. Alice, well, she's not here tonight, but there's several people that go through this. And then by the time they get there, the bad dog's gone, or the incident's over. The puppy then got ate up, or the cat then got ate up. These things are real. I can give you examples. I can bring the people in and show you how their babies, as they call them, are dead. And the dog is still in the neighborhood, still next door, still whatever the case is. So where is our service? Why does it take so long? Why is it by the time they get there, the incident's over? I train them to take video. I train them to take pictures. All these things we give to the police or we give to animal control, but it's all after the fact information, and the bad animal is still at home. And that's very hurtful when an animal can kill your pet, and we don't have an answer in Springfield for it. We do not have a good answer. And that's all I'm saying is, let's quit talking like, because they probably are doing a great job on the babysitting side, you know, the sheltering. But I'm talking enforcement. How many vans you got? Earlier, when I first got involved as an alderman, it was 3 vans for a county our size. Come on, guys. Now I'm hearing that they may be up to 5. I'm not sure, but these are the kind of questions I need to know. I can't get them if y'all never require them to come. If y'all keep backdoor paying them because we keeping things the same, and now we owe a bill, and legally I want to pay them if we owe them, but I want to quit owing them. I want to put them at a point to where you guys can't do the work. I'd rather go, because that's what we're doing anyway. We're not getting services for our money. Thank you. And I'm hoping they show up next week.
I guess, real quick, before I go to Alderman Gregory, is there an ordinance that we can bring forward to prevent if a dog attacks a neighbor's dog or whatever, if we can make sure that dog gets held for a certain period of time? I think that, is that more of an ordinance thing, or is that a policy at the county? Is that, I mean, we're responsible for the ordinances in the city, and I would assume that they would have to enforce those ordinances.
Right. I will look into that and get back to you on what our policy is and what theirs is, and that holding period.
Yeah.
If we have one, or how that works.
Okay, thank you. Alderman Gregory?
Yes, thank you. When I look at this, the fee covers actual animal control officer response, 167,000, and boarding cost was in 197. So we're paying more to board them than the actual response time, and we know that takes funding. So County Board Member Ayers came up here a few years ago, and he was trying to get us to do something on the enforcement part that the animal control could not do. But I see in the contract they do have the fees listed for what happens if they take a dog or have to, put one down and things of that nature. So it seems like they have the enforcement in there. But as my colleague said, it just seems like they're going to need some more workers to get to the point that our city is feeling it, as far as, because they got everything listed. So can you check on that as well? I know he was pushing us. Do you remember Alderwoman when Mark Ayers came here? He came here about something, and we was pushing back on our housing inspectors going around doing that.
He wanted to double check if they were breeding the dogs in the backyard.
That was the ordinance I had that got withdrawn, because there's no support.
Right. So, but they have that in here, Alderwoman. They have, they can go fine for cruelty to animals. They have it biting animals.
Yeah,
So,
all that's in there.
I guess what I'm saying is whatever it is that he brought forward or whatever it is, that should go in their contract, and we should allow them to do their jobs. That portion, if they can't do that, then we should allow them to do it. If they can't do it for whatever our contract is or whatever, I'll give them a call tonight and just see, or Alderwoman, you have that, but that should be in their contract. Their dog catchers should be able to handle that. We should release that to them to do it, because it's not our employees that's doing it. We're contracting that out. That's just my opinion on that. But they have it all listed on the things that they can do, the enforcements that they can do, in the contract that we have now. So the new contract, whatever that may be, I think that needs to be included, and then we just need to look at how much they're going to need for some more people. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Alderman Williams?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. So I agree with you, the holding, but guess what? We already tried that. We always ask them, well, can you hold them? They can't even hold them. Well, where they gonna hold them if they have no space? You know, I don't think they're outright lying to me. They just say, Alderman, we gotta give them back to the owner because we have no room. We have no place to put this bad animal that you don't think should be there. And I realize they're under pressure because there's groups that don't want to kill animals and there's groups that, but they have killed some too. But I just want honest discussion and no carte blanche, consent, you get the money and we keep operating like we've been operating. Stop, time out. Let's listen to them, let them listen to us, and see if they fit our needs, especially, not so much on the shelter side, but especially on the enforcement side. Thank you.
Thank you. So we've got a motion for debate. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
2026-018, an ordinance authorizing supplemental appropriation in the amount of $688,683 for the payment to the Police and Fire Pension Fund for the Office of Budget Management.
Motion for consent.
Second.
Got a motion?
I'm sorry, I got a question, Rob.
What?
Well,
I
let's
got a question.
get the
All
motion out
right.
first.
Motion and second for consent. Alderman Carlson.
That was it. Is this, Ramon, is this an additional payment or just a regular payment?
This is an additional payment, based off of the pilot.
Okay.
That CWLP pays.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
And does it also include all the other supplementals that we've got down for like cannabis and that? Or is that going to be a separate one?
Cannabis, let me check to see if is cannabis listed in that? I don't have it.
This is separate, I think.
Okay, cannabis is already in Muni Code, so we don't need a supplemental for it.
Okay.
So the cannabis one will go.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, now we'll go to unfinished business. Any unfinished business?
I just got one thing, Sheriff.
Alderman Gregory.
Just real quick, Dave, and you don't gotta get up, my friend. Can you give me some information when you get a chance? I see Mr. Mendenhall is gone, but on 11th and South Grand, I know we after the underpasses were finished, we were planning on doing some safety improvements with that intersection there. And I just think it's important that not only we continue those discussions, but we also, hear from those in the community right there, as we come up under that underpass. I will say going west, coming into town, as you go across 11th Street to hit the underpass, that bump out on the north side of that street is a little out there. It's a little scary going down, in traffic hours, riding on that right side. So I think it's important to continue those discussions, and I look forward to hearing some info. Thank you.
All right, Alderman Cox.
Thank you, Chair. Excuse me. I'm getting more phone calls again this week about the fiber optic lane being done, and I know it's horrible. It's an inconvenience. It tears up
Thank
yards.
God they're done in my ward.
But, yeah, exactly, right. They're deep in Ward 1 right now. No pun intended. But, so what with what research I've been able to do so far, they're required to give notice. Whether they're giving notice or not, I don't know for sure. But what I have been told is that a lot of times the notice, and so I'm hoping people that are watching me on TV right now are listening, a lot of times the notice comes in the form of mail, and it might be like a hot pink or a neon green piece of paper, and it says, fiber's coming to your area. And people think it's an advertisement, but it's actually notice to let you know that within the next 60 days or 30 days, there will be flags in your yard. They are going to tear up your yard. They are supposed to fix it. They're supposed to make it look nice again as best they can. So just, if you see the neon stuff, look through your junk mail, because it may not actually be junk. So just a little PSA there. Thank you, Chair.
And keep in mind, Alderman, they're actually working in the utility easements of the yard. They're not technically in your yard, but there is utility easements. I did learn all that.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
And
thank you for
they, in the past, I've noticed they've done a fairly good job of getting it back to where it was. Now, if you are a big yard guy, it's probably not going to make your, as good as what your yard would be, but they have done a pretty good job. There has been problems, and the notification, you're right, you think it's a junk mail.
Yeah.
And I was one of those that thought that too, so.
Well, and I've told some of the folks that have called me that if you're very concerned, take pictures and
Yeah.
you can deal with them down the road. But, I mean, frankly, the city, we just don't have much to do about it,
we have no.
unfortunately. Other than we do have the ordinance requiring them to provide notice, I believe, so.
Or City Clerk Redpath.
Alderman, I did get a notice on my door. I'm the very last house in the city of Springfield, and they came down my block. So I know there was a door hanger on my door. And Timberlane West is, I see they're already doing the backfill over there, and they have been doing a pretty good job on it.
Good, thank you.
All right. Any other old business or unfinished business? Any new business? Alderman Gregory.
Real quick, I'm just gonna make a statement. I know we continue to have discussions on this registry thing, but I'll tell you that, I want to get with Corporation Council and all of those sponsors on that, but anytime that we come in and we have he's on here 4 times. 4 times, a major apartment guy, and we all got the same paper, so you can look at it. Not only in my ward, but Ward 5 and different wards throughout the city. And when we get these admin court things, and we see, people on here, last guy was on there 11 times. I don't know if he's on the landlord registry or a registry of any type, but, that's something that I want to look at within that ordinance about how many times that they get to keep going back to admin court about the same things. Anytime we get these sheets and they're on there multiple times, either we as a council are gonna have to start paying attention to these and putting them on the registry, or lessen that, where you got 2 aldermen, and then the third one, you get on the registry. That, because I know we have the registry. We've always had some sort of a registry. We haven't used it. And now that we're open to doing that, we have plenty of examples and plenty of bad landlords or people who are renting out leases and are on our sheets every week or every month that we get them. Some of these people are on here multiple times in one ward for different houses. It makes no sense. I remind you, anytime that our inspectors go out, they give them time to contact them, to call them. So they have some time. And in my view, as long as they're in communication with our inspectors, they should never make it to admin court, right? Because they're working, they're actively working. You make it to admin court when you do nothing or you haven't fixed the issue that you said you was gonna fix. But Alderman Hanauer put in a rule, you go to admin court, you get 150. It's 150 automatic charge. So these are people who are not rectifying this, and, the admin judge always has his prerogative to handle the case as it is, but, we gotta have some little tougher rules, because they're still playing with us, so thank you, that's my spiel, and I'm done for the night.
All right, Alderwoman Notriano.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to join everyone, or ask everyone to join me in congratulating the girls cheerleading team from Sacred Heart Griffin over the weekend. They finished second place, an impressive second place, at the Illinois Cheerleading Coaches Association competition, which was a statewide competition.
Nice.
Yeah,
Right
so,
here.
congrats.
Congratulations, for sure.
Okay, Alderwoman Purchase.
Well, thank you. It wouldn't be right if I didn't talk about this today. So on January 13th, 1913, at Howard University, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated was built on purpose, leadership, and dedication to uplifting communities through service and advocacy. Today, I'm honored with my sorority sisters, the legacy that continues to guide my work and the standards set by women who came before me. I'm proud to stand with this tradition and carry it forward through sisterhood, service, and social action. So I want to give a huge shout out to my sorority sisters and sorors all over the world today. Happy Founders Day to the strong, brilliant, and purpose-driven women of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
All right, thank
Happy
you.
Founders Day.
Thank you.
Alderwoman Conley.
Thank you, Chair. And this is kind of a request for further information from the city. We have a big vote coming in March for our community, the Mental Health Board, which was one of the findings that came out of the Massey Commission. obviously, we've all had opportunities to see what presentations and the conversations before the commission, before the county board. We've not had anything specifically in our own chambers around the recommendations that are going to be very impactful for us in Springfield. So I think it would be, first of all, we have a vote coming in March, whether or not this mental health board will be approved with the associated costs. I will point out that this is a health issue. That's something that's critically important, we know, in our community. I think it would be good for us as a council to have, if we can have Josh Sabo, who I know has been doing presentations around this, or who would like, someone from the commission who would like to come and speak to the council, let us know about, this vote that will be coming in March, make sure that our residents are well informed, that we're all hearing the same message, and that we're well informed on this, so that we can speak to people on what this commission or what that board will be doing. And also for us to kind of start having that conversation around what our expectations are for some of the other recommendations that were included in the commission's final findings. So I think because there's an actual vote coming in March, I think that board, the development of that board would be a good presentation for us to have. But so I guess, Mayor, I'm not going to turn around and look at you, but because that would be awkward for me. But if we could have, outreach after we're done with our budget sessions. I realize the next 2 weeks is not this week, next week. We don't want extra presentations for anything. But after that, in February, I think this is an important conversation for us to also have in these council chambers. We need to be highlighting the importance of a very real issue in our community. So thank you, Mayor. I will kind of touch base later, and I meant to email you on this, but I want to make sure that it's made very clear. There's a lot in that report. There were a lot in those findings that we need to also be learning more about and talking about in our own capacity as elected officials. I mean, I've watched the meetings. I've read through as much of the report as I can so far. It's not a small one, but again, I would like to have that presentation once we get past our budget sessions. Thank you, Chair.
And I would ask Mr. Donlin, could you remind us about the budget workshops?
Yes, I would be happy to, Mr. Chair. I just happen to have the schedule somewhat handy. Our first hearing, the first workshop is tomorrow evening, Wednesday, January 14th, 5:30 in this chamber. The second part of that hearing will be on Thursday, January 15th. I should say in the 14th, we will hear the overview from the treasurer, the city council coordinator, the mayor, and CVB. On Thursday of this week, we will hear from the library, Office of Plan and Economic Development, Human Resources, Public Works, and the Office of Budget and Management. And then the final part of the workshop will be held Thursday, January 22nd, in which we will hear from police, fire, and CWLP. And they all begin at 5:30 p.m. in this chamber. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Yes.
There's no other new business. We'll go to citizens' request to address committee. Mr. Clerk.
Will Tracy.
All right.
Could you please state your name, please?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Will Tracy, and just a little backstory on me. I'm 28 years old. I was born and raised in Southtown, Springfield. First off Toronto and then more towards Chatham, but that's besides the point. I've noticed there's a lot of kind of unrest and unhappiness, and at least within the way of policing in America lately, and I feel like a really good way to address that is to give people more infrastructure for freedom, and I think you guys are doing that in the way of the 3rd Street Greenway and the development of South MacArthur Boulevard and the Shields Plaza in general. Kind of pursuant to that nature, I would like to open table the idea of installing a fish hatchery off the 6th Street South Frontage Road, or it's technically the North Frontage Road, but the 6th Street Frontage Road next to Calvary Church Temple. There's a 12-acre plat of land, which is relatively high water table, and could be produced a fish hatchery upon that would serve as breeding grounds and way for the state to cultivate 7 native species. This could be a $1 billion advancement to Illinois' GDP. I think that would be terrific just because I'm personally really into fishing and agriculture in general. I think that with the amount of development on the frontage road between Veterans and MacArthur itself, there could even be a IDNR fish hatchery or a fishing byway put in. That would be south of the Lincolnshire Lindbergh subdivisions. Nonetheless, though, it's a long time coming because I understand that the Iron Bridge cutout is a 5-year project, and the Chatham Road extensions, as you guys were talking about, engineering development between Hazel Dell and MacArthur and Hazel Dell and Chatham Road. That will take probably precedence before this would ever be built. But nonetheless, I think that that would be a great addition to both the local GDP and the school system. I haven't met many people graduating from Illinois Second Education with marine biology as their majors. So, sorry, I'm a little nervous. I should probably work on my breathing, but
You're good.
that's the overall idea. Yeah, I think that plot of ground, I think it's already zoned for special use, meaning that it could be state-owned property. And I think it would be pertinent and premier to the idea that it would be an actual GDP producing property if it is to fall into special use, long-term zoning. Yep, I'm on Tracy.
I would recommend you contact Economic Development. That'd be good. Also DNR as well. If you haven't had a chance to talk to the Fisheries Department
Yes,
at
I
DNR,
haven't
they're
yet.
pretty amazing people over there. So.
And Lake
Be
Services.
outstanding.
And Lake Services.
Lake Service as well.
So.
Okay.
But please contact our.
Yeah, this is the planning committee, you
Yep.
said?
Yep.
Okay,
So.
thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brianna Day.
Good evening. So I'm gonna full circle it because it's been a while. And so fun fact about me is that I really like games, and I was agoraphobic for a really long time. And while I was agoraphobic, I played a lot of games, and I completed all my side quests before I worked on the main mission, so that way the main mission was a lot easier. So, with that said, my full circle moment is I came up here, I talked about Kennedy, I talked about Trump. So here is a flyer of my grandpa whenever he ran with Kennedy in the Democratic Party. If you'd like to see it, I would love to let you read it as well. And then I'm going to save this for last. So, I'm just going to go ahead and say, holy crap, holy Batman, no wonder my grandma said don't get involved with politics. I just want to say that I wish all of our politicians were like you, Sean Gregory. Thank you for being patient with me. Thank you for giving me the time that I needed in order to get all of this together so that way I could do this in a respectful way, because I want to respect my elders, I want to respect my ancestors, and I want to move forward in a respectful, responsible manner. Okay, so to be clear, I want to state that all of this is it's all alleged, an attempt to show respect to my elders who have passed. So my very first point that I want to make is that my great-grandpa is who ran with JFK, and he was a Democratic legislator up north who had alleged mafia ties. It was known that he was physically abusive to his children. And this led my nanny to pew-pewing him with a shotty. He did survive, but my nanny later went on to snitch on the mob because my nanny does not play. If she's willing to shoot her own dad, she don't play about her brother. So I have been just constantly telling myself that my nanny's behind me, and I hope that I can make her proud. So she snitched back in the 70s. And then my grandfather, who was her brother, he, on the other hand, went on to allegedly continue the cycle of abuse. When my biological father found that out, he died by suicide. And within that same 12-month period, I think it was actually 9 months, I don't know for sure, so I'm saying 12, my grandfather was killed. I'm not going to read the impact statement of when he was killed and ran over because it is quite violent. So some people who look on the outside, looking in, including myself, have been entertaining the idea that vigilante justice is the way, but my family has been fighting a generational wound since my grandpa's death. We can all agree that there should not be protection offered to those who harm children, but we must also acknowledge the unintended consequences of vigilante justice, while also acknowledging that the current judicial system is systematically harming the entire groups of humans, while re-traumatizing victims without offering true justice in the form of healing. Until sex work is legalized, it is impossible to solve the inhumane issue of human trafficking. Therefore, until our politicians pass policy to protect all of our citizens, including those who are in sex work, I cannot adequately speak on the issue without the unintended consequences harming the very humans that we are fighting for. With that said, my nanny was a writer and she loved to write poems. This is one that she published out in California. There is a garden not far from this world, made of a rift valleys and verbena grown hills. Grasses are velvet and rocks are white pearled. The rain is impellent on windmills. There is a realm between heaven and hell. Deep inlets jet into the sloping lea, and dolphins leap into the surging swell. And in the hills they whisper down to the sea. There is a love there gentler than flowers. There is a love there for all living things. In spirit, go there and dream away the hours. Untamed and free, go rest your wild wings. So with that being said, I'm glad that I'm believed at this point. And I will drop names if I have to, but I don't like to. Okay, thanks.
Randy, do you want these back? These?
No, you can have them.
Sure? Yeah. All right. These are extra, by the way, so.
Kim
All right.
Kim Pesha?
Evening, everybody. I will speak on the animal control issue because I spend a lot of my actual free time rescuing animals. Some of you guys may not know that. It is an unstoppable problem, and the no-kill shelter is a very solid solution to it. Killing animals isn't going to help anybody because the main reason there's so many animals at the shelter is poor ownership. We need more city education-based programs and funding for it to help people learn how to take care of their animals. I know far too many people who let their cats outside unneutered. What do you think happens? You know how many cats I've had to rescue because people are like, oh, these kittens just appeared. Kind of like their kids just appeared, I guess. I don't know. Family planning doesn't seem to be a lot of people's strong suit, unfortunately. But I'll tell everybody, in case you missed it, it's from breeding. Animals breed heavily. One cat can churn out 3 litters in a year. That's between 18 to 24 kittens as a max. So when you think about that, every cat that you see on the street is causing that issue. Every dog that you see running free because their owner doesn't know how to restrain a dog, like, same person is probably like, I don't know where my kid's at right now. I mean, I'll just be perfectly honest with you. It's a systemic issue in terms of responsibility. People will tell you, I told the dog. I'm sorry, do dogs speak English? Did I miss something? That roof joke is kind of funny, but most dogs don't talk. So I'm pretty sure they don't speak English either. So I feel like a public education program is going to be a lot heavier, because if you go talk to the spay-neuter clinic, they will tell you that within 24 to 48 hours of opening their monthly scheduling for free spaying and neutering, it's full for the month. So, I mean, when you talk about solutions to that, I need you to know that the people that are handling it right now are overwhelmed in a way that most of you don't understand. Have you ever seen someone who tried to fight that? who tried to rescue all those animals, what their homes turn into. I mean, there's a never-ending amount. You could rescue animals all day long. You will never get to go to bed. There is an endless supply, and a lot of that is poor education and poor ownership. Because animals are going to do what animals do, which is breed. It's just what they do. They have seasonal, they get in heat. I mean, this is all very standard stuff. So, I mean, as a city, I would think that it would behoove us to think about educating our citizens rather than going the UIS route of infuriating a large number of people when you start talking about moving towards a kill shelter. Because when they didn't want to keep doing trap and release, their solution was to hire a private company to catch those animals and kill them. I'll tell you that didn't end well. They're back to catch and release because nobody wants that. It's a cruel and brutal way to handle humans' failure to be good owners and stewards of smaller creatures. That's just a blunt assessment of that. So I'm going to move on. The budget issue for me is that the workshops, I do understand limiting the time we all have to spend on those, but no public comment till the 22nd seems like a bit of a misnomer. I feel like the public has every right to comment prior to that, and forcing them all to do it on one night seems a really good way to keep us all there a really long amount of time on the 22nd. Just a thought. I would open it up to that public comment for those individual nights when the discussions had are most pertinent to the comments being given. Nobody wants to talk about something days later after it's already been buried under a mountain of numbers and facts. I mean, that's just a simple thought about that. So just a consideration when we talk about that kind of stuff. Limiting public comment is never a good solution. That's just a thought. Additionally, with the budget, when we talk about stuff like that, we should increase the animal control budget. Roy, I'll be honest. We want them to patrol an entire city effectively. It's not going to happen because they hope for it. I mean, quite frankly, they're doing the best they can, as I just noted. We're going to have to pay for this stuff, guys, and it's not going to keep appearing in the form of $2 million rain dances from the state. I mean, we're looking at a big deficit, is my understanding, and we're going to have to pull from reserves for it. Those reserves aren't going to last forever. And when we allow a $10 million increase in the police budget over 2 budget periods, I think we should really consider about where that money's going. That's not an attack on them. I'm sure they have good reasons for it, and probably valid reasons. But when we're talking about windfalls not coming from the government anymore, because I'm pretty sure we've all accepted that those taps are pretty well shut, right, guys? So let's consider the idea that when we talk about where our money's being allocated as more policing and more equipment and more things like that, the real solution. Because we've been over-policing the east side for years, and I just looked at the 11 murders they covered for the SJR, and where do most of them happen? That over-policing is not the solution. Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
Vanessa Knox.
Good evening. Good evening. I am here to briefly talk about the upcoming budget workshops that I did last week. We want to encourage everyone to come so that the community can be very much more informed. But my plea to you tonight is I'm asking that, I believe it's 5 of them, either 4 or 5, at every one of those workshops, can you please make sure you are considering ones who have no voice? Money makes things happen. There is a tremendous amount of displaced people in Springfield right now, tremendous amount who are struggling with mental health, tremendous amount who are just struggling in so many different ways. I'm born and raised here. I've never seen this many people struggle, ever. I'm asking that, I know you have the different budgets for different things, and everyone wants more for all of their projects and things that they're involved with. But there's a lot of people who have no voice, and they're relying on you to give them some relief in some kind of way. I know there are a lot of programs, but we need money to help them more in a more meaningful way. No one likes to talk about the unhoused and the addicted and things like that, but they're here, and they're not going anywhere. We need every one of those workshops to include some form of efforts and money. I don't care if it helps just 5 or 6 There has to be something for every one of the workshops to be able to help some of these other people. I know you've planned for a long time on what your budget is, and everyone wants more money. But people who have no voice and are continuing to suffer in Springfield, please think of them and allot some form of money for them. We spend a lot of time talking about animal control and mini sports complex and all these things, but there's poverty control that needs to be talked about as well. They're not able to do this. You are controlling money. I'm asking that you put some money for each of these workshops into helping people who have no voice, progressing in some way to help them. Not relying on just the programs that are in Springfield who we don't know will be funded and don't know what will happen to them. I want you to consider the reentry community, consider the substance use community, consider people who are suffering with HIV and many other discriminatory illnesses that are out there, and definitely ones who are suffering with mental illness. They don't have a lot of people that see them. There's not a lot of lenses out there that see them. I'm asking that you see them. Thank you.
Thank you. Aaron Cahill,